interest rate and borrow the money back at a higher interest rate. Are you aware of that? That is the NDC for you. That is the NDC for you. So we will allow the law to work. And in doing so, nobody will be shielded. Now, let me, as I conclude, say a few facts about the Rebecca Foundation and the NAM mission. It's so unfortunate, the desperation of the NDC. The Rebecca Foundation collaborated with GCB Bank, Future of Africa Foundation, the BRAIN Project, and the Global Health Consortium to undertake free medical screening and surgeries tagged Restoring Hope. From the 5th of March 2018 until the 5th of April 2018, the group was made up of Ghanaian, German, and American doctors. The health screening under this project was carried out in several hospitals, including Rich Hospital, Lajia Hospital, Kolebu Polyclinic, Asha Polyclinic, Tamale Teaching Hospital, Family Health Hospital, St. Michael's Hospital in Praso, Kumewu Polyclinic, and surgeries were also carried out in Ridge Hospital, La General Hospital, Kolebu Polyclinic, Kolebu Teaching Hospital, ENT Department, Family Health Hospital as well. St. Michael's Hospital and Tamale Central Hospital. A total of 205 surgeries ranging from neurological, gynecological, plastic, and dental, among others, were completed. The other partners to the project, I want to repeat, the GCB Bank, Future of Africa Foundation, the BRAIN Project, and Global Health Consortium. And at all times, these partners were in charge of fundraising and bookkeeping for the project. The Restoring Hope project has a bank account to which the Rebecca Foundation is not a signatory and does not have access to. The Rebecca Foundation is not on record anywhere as having requested NAM missions to support the project. At the time, the Rebecca Foundation gave media interviews to raise awareness and attract potential beneficiaries to the project. The foundation also cleared and shipped medical equipment and consumables used to conduct the surgeries and donations to various health facilities around the country. So the attempt to drag the name of the First Lady, very hard-working First Lady, involved in charitable work across areas of public concern, particularly in health, is not only painful, but degrading to the political image of the NDC. As I said in the beginning, NDC, please be kind to this country. You can't put nothing on, you can't put something on nothing. When there isn't anything, you can't put something on it. And that something itself is made up of cotton wool. It's vacuous, it is air, there's nothing there. It is that reason that has compelled us. We would not have responded otherwise. But the spread of the viciousness is what compels us to respond. We seek to create a more salubrious environment for politics in this country. We seek to move towards issue-based politics, and we hope the NDC can follow us there, because otherwise they will stay in opposition for a very long time. Thank you very much for coming.
And that's Yao Boabeng Asamoah, who is the Director of Communications at the NDC. The press conference called to respond to the NPP, to the Director of Communications of the NPP. The press conference called to respond to a press conference held a couple of hours back by the NDC. All on this unfolding Men's Gold saga. It's surprised at this, MFA?
Not too surprised, because I wasn't expecting that we're going to get an immediate reaction, because when we were told that the NDC was going to organize a press conference to address these issues on NAM1 and the Yoko and all, then we just heard that the NPP was also going to react, and it looks like direct responses. But as to whether they've been able to react to all the issues raised by the NDC is also another issue, because they raised issues about why his assets were not frozen and why no member of NAM or the Men's Gold have been arrested or or, taken into custody for questioning. That we don't know if it has been done. But these are the questions that were raised by the NDC. And amongst others, the First Lady's issues were also raised, but it looks like they've been touched on. But our man is there on the ground. We're hoping that these other issues that the NDC raised will be put to Yaboabi and Samwa. Hopefully we should get some reaction.
Including the allegation we heard from the NDC that they have evidence to suggest that Namwan, Nana Pia Mensah, sponsored the Nanado's campaign in 2016, and they insist that that is the only reason why they've treated him with kid gloves in spite of the fraudulent behavior of his company. You had details of that just on Top Story before the press conference began. Those are essentially the details that the NDC had put out, for which reason you had there. As MFA had indicated, there are some other specific allegations that we're yet to hear responses to. Of course, we'll take a short break and return with other stories for you tonight, including
Chairman of Parliament's Education Committee accuses previous NDC government of diverting 100 pickup vehicles meant for education institutions to their party's constituency offices for campaign in 2016.
They diverted from the 100 units Mahindra to run their party activities in their constituency. If you go there right now, all the double Mahindra pickup that they are using, they use in the name of their education to buy. They hid behind it, and they are there. We are not talking about it.
And he served notice Yoko will go after NDC party officials to retrieve the vehicles soon. But the NDC is denying the claim. We'll get to hear from them. And also from COP Kofi Boachi, he's predicting doom in the 2020 election if the fight against political vigilantism is not intensified.
If political integrity is not stopped now, from 2020, there will be an explosion. And it is escalating. It can be something that will not be able to contain.
He's also questioning the role of civil society in the fight.
Police are bold and fearless, but at the same time, what is the guarantee that civil society will support them? I think the civil society itself are in a confused state. They are in a confused state as to what to support or what not to support. And they are also afraid of the politicians.
We have details as he delivers a Beatrice speech on political vigilantism, and much later, Ghana Armed Forces serve eviction notice to residents living illegally at areas near the Michelle camp following an explosion this dawn.
But people who are living around the place and don't have permits should start advising themselves. It's a security zone.
We have details. You may want to join us with your thoughts and comments via WhatsApp on 0244340437. I am MFAPO.
And my name is Evans Mensah. Details after the break.
Just dial *714*556#. Choose update your details, follow the prompts, and voila! You are in for surprises that will make your head swell big. Surprises like mobile data, useful car insurance tips, and many more. Remember, updating your details even helps to speed up the claims process. Car owner, this is your year. Insure with Enterprise. Dial *714*556# and update your details now.
Enterprise, your advantage.
Trusted, innovative financial services, providing affiliation, support and solutions. Customer-oriented, superior services. Your success our passion. Trusted, innovative financial services, providing affiliation, support and solutions. Customer-oriented, superior services. Your success our passion. 10 good years of loyalty, service with integrity, protective of our Ghanaian brand. 10 years of excellence, 10 years of loyalty. Your success our passion. Oh yeah, your success our passion.
Your success, our passion. Hello. I say, I was at Nawai. Vodafone normal 10 megabyte free data. It will call Smart Rubiadron. Share.
Hello, have you heard that Vodafone is giving 10 megabyte free data for every minute you talk? You just dial 50-50.
Yeah, hello? Aha! Right now, we the Vodafone people just they call plenty. Sake of us you talk 1 minute, you go get 10 megabytes. You talk 2 minutes, you go get 20 megabytes. 3 minutes.
Call Vodafone or any network and get 10 megabytes of free data every minute you talk. It's simple. Talk to browse. The more you talk, the more data you get. Dial 50-50 to subscribe. Talk more, browse more. Terms and conditions apply.
The future is exciting. Ready?
Nationwide Medical Insurance, the leader in private health insurance, has deployed superior technology to make your healthcare experience more convenient and exciting. With the Nationwide mobile app, you can order your prescription drugs and we will deliver to your doorsteps. With over 600 dependable healthcare service providers, you're just a step away locating your service provider of choice and accessing hospital claim information in real time. Our corporate clients are guaranteed timely corporate utilization reports. We provide on-site clinics to give employees access to healthcare in the comfort of their offices. Enjoy these amazing benefits and so much more by signing on to Nationwide Medical Insurance today. Call us on toll-free number 0800-222222 or visit our website www.nationwidemh.com. Nationwide Medical Insurance. Join the healthcare family.
Thanks for staying with us and welcome back. I bet you're all looking for some reactions from the NPP NDC press conference. The NPP press conference is still underway, but I can bet you that you will get all the reaction, all the details this evening on PM Express, on Joy News Channel, on Multi TV. It's at 9 p.m. with Evans Mensah. It will be live on Facebook, live on TV, and live online as well. So you don't want to miss it.
And there's a lot to interrogate. You've heard the back and forth allegations here and there, claims and counterclaims, but you need to sift it a bit. There's a lot to interrogate. There's a lot, the facts, there's opinion in there that we've heard today, but how do you get to the bottom of it? We'll try and look for the devil in the detail on PM Express. Let's stick to what has been happening in Parliament today. The chairman of Parliament's Education Committee, Siaka Stevens, is accusing the previous NDC government of diverting 100 vehicles meant for education institutions to their party's constituency offices. Now, in 2016, the Education Ministry, through private firm Vani Group Limited, imported 500 vehicles at a cost of $18 million for various schools. The vehicles included 100 Mahindra double cabin pickups. Mr. Siaka tells Joy News Joseph Opokugapo, I beg your pardon, that the Mahindra pickup vehicles were distributed to NDC constituencies for use in campaigning. He claims NDC constituency officials are still in possession of these vehicles for party activities. We can listen to him.
The Ministry of Education, through the Ministry of Finance, paid an amount of 44,400,000 Ghana cedis, being the equivalent of $10 million US. That's what they raised. And the exchange rate was 4 cedis, 44 pesos to the dollar. And then this money was paid to Vani Group Limited, the Mrs. Vani Group Limited. And this was part payment of an outstanding debt of $18,720 US owed to Savannah Group Limited for the supply of 500 vehicles. Out of these 500 vehicles, 100 units of 66-seater buses, 200 units of 33-seater buses, and then 100 units of Nissan Navara double cabin pickups, and then 100 units Mahindra double cabin pickups to educational institutions across the country in 2016. The 100 units Mahindra double cabin pickup was used to run their party activities. And
I thought it was meant for the education.
No. That is misplacement of national resources. And we were quiet about this.
So your allegation is that these buses that were bought purposely for the education ministry,
they diverted some the 100 units Mahindra to run their party activities in their country. If you go there right now, all the double Mahindra pickup that they are using, they use in the name of their education to buy. They hid behind it, and they are there. We are not talking about it.
But this is obviously corruption. This is criminal. If
serious.
National resources have
National
been
resources have been diverted
diverted
to run party activities, and it's very serious.
Why haven't you done anything about it over the last
2 years? It was disclosed in our recent budget that no, this is what happened. And if you go to all the constituency and the district, still you can see some of the Mahindra, roadworthy now. And people are quiet about this, and we're raising issues.
Okay, but my point is, why isn't anyone prosecuting anyone for such a corrupt act, diverting national resources for political party activity?
The intention of the government is not to rush to, find troubles with people. That's not the intention at all. So the various institutions are there. If you check closely on your records, you realize that certain companies who are not paying taxes, Euroko and other things have followed them, and they paid billions of cedis. It is quite on the ground.
Shouldn't that be done in connection with this? Retrieve the vehicles back to the educational institutions?
That is why several institutions have been established, resource and other things. So come 2019, we are not thinking about what you call witch hunting. That is not the idea or position of
the right thing be done
right
in terms of recovering these
vehicles.
Yes,
if this allegation is not coming to public domain, now people will follow it and make sure they get to the bottom of it.
So we can expect that the security agencies
will
go after
they should go after
NDC executives.
the whereabouts of this Mahindra. And we are paying this money. You use the name of education, get the money, and then go and use it for your own activities, which is bad. It's not in good taste for Ghanaians at all.
So that's the chairman of Parliament's Education Committee, Joseph Opoku-Gapo, joins us in the studio with more on this. Joseph, tell us a bit more about these buses that we're talking about.
So we understand these were 500 vehicles, and it consisted of 100 Nissan Navara pickups. There were 100 Mahindra pickups, where the chairman of the Education Committee claims the NDC diverted and eventually used for their campaigning. And then there were 233-seater buses and another 166-seater buses. And President John Mahama, in 2016, in the course of one of his Accounting to the People tour, indicated that those were the items that were being donated to schools, and then gave the breakdown that this is something that was going to schools in special need, polytechnics that were being turned into universities, and also some public universities. And in fact, the indication was that some private universities were also going to get some of these vehicles, and also existing senior high schools were additionally going to get some of these vehicles. But one of the other things that the chairman draws attention to is that even when the transaction went through, the amount of more than $18 million that had to be paid to the company wasn't paid by the then NDC government, to the extent that the current NPP administration last year had to overspend their budget by about 44 million Ghana cedis to pay off about $10 million of the $18 million contract sum. He says those earlier bits of the debt have been cleared now.
It wasn't the Ministry of Education that approved of it. It's rather the Ministry of Finance. They raised the fund and paid for on behalf of a debt they incurred in 2016, which they did not pay.
The NDC.
The NDC by then. And then the Finance Committee of Ministry of Finance, they approved it.
So you had the Siaka Stephen there in that interview with Joseph Opoku-Gapo. Let's get some reaction from the minority. And we have the minority spokesperson on education, Mr. Peter Nochukotoy. We're grateful for your time here on Newsnight. So you had the allegations of the chairman of the Education Committee. Did the NDC divert 100 vehicles meant for the Education Ministry to the party?
Yeah, thank you very much, and good evening to your listeners. I am surprised at the statement being made by the Honorable Chairman of the Education Select Committee. This is the second time in a week he has made or created some falsehood as far as education is concerned in this country. Let me put it on record that NDC never diverted any vehicle bought for the Ministry of Education for campaign activities. What the chairman said is what an irresponsible statement, because that thing never happened, and I didn't expect him to do that. And if that was even discovered for 2 years now, why have they not held anybody responsible? You know, in Parliament last year, I raised an issue over expenditure of 1,644% of approved sums of money for the Ministry of Education. And the minister explained that the buses or the vehicles, the 500 vehicles we bought in 2016, we had not finished paying for it. So the Ministry of Education took over the payment, and when they made the payment, it was charged to the accounts of the Ministry of Education, and that resulted into the over expenditure. Now, in 2017, they refused to pay the supplier of the vehicle, that's Svani. So he took the ministry to court, and he won the case with, and so the ministry had to pay with interest. And as a result, the Ministry of Finance had to come in, negotiate with the supplier, and started paying. So they paid about 44.4 million cedis as a part payment to the supplier. And that is what we all know. The minister never mentioned or accused anybody of diverting any vehicle. So I don't know where he's getting this information from. So what he's saying is a probable lie. Yeah, he's only fabricating a story.
So the 100 Mahindra vehicles in questions were not diverted to the NDC. That's it?
Never at all. And I challenge him to state who diverted the vehicles and where are the vehicles. I know the party bought vans for the constituencies, and I know my constituency, the one you have, was registered in 2015, and these buses were bought in 2016. And the buses were not even enough for the schools and even the demands that were made on the Ministry of Education. They inherited even some of the vehicles after we handed over. So how they even distributed them, that's why nobody has asked them to account for it. And so what is he saying? So it is never true. It's only fabricating a lie for the public to hear this as if NDC diverted.
So you mentioned that you were questioning why after 2 years and nothing has been done about it. In that interview with my colleague Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, he says they are coming after you to be able to retrieve these vehicles. There's nothing to retrieve.
No, what I'm saying is that if he is saying that the vehicles were diverted, they took office 2 years now, why didn't they detect when they were going to make payment? Or how did they detect now?
So that's what he's saying, that they've now detected and they are coming after you.
And I'm saying that it is never true that any bus or Mahindra or pickup was diverted. These vehicles were distributed as soon as they came. So it is not true. I'm also saying that it is not true. It's only fabricating a story to probably deceive the minds of Ghanaians.
So the question about why you didn't pay off the money for the vehicles before leaving office comes up, to the extent that it's become an outstanding debt, I should say.
The agreement with the supplier was that it will be paid over 2 years, 2016 and 2017. So part payment was made in 2016. We were to budget for the remaining payment in 2017 when power was handed over. And in 2017, no provision was made for it in the Ministry of Education budget for payment, as well as 2018. So when the supplier realized that the Ministry of Education was not ready to pay, he took them to court. So the Ministry of Finance came in to negotiate with the supplier, and then it started the payment. So they delayed it. When you assume office, you take on assets and liabilities. So if they did not pay, it is their responsibility that they should take the blame. So he cannot blame NDC. We had made provisions that we were going to pay. We paid part in 2016, going to pay the remainder in 2017. So when you took office and you were told that these were the indebtedness of the ministry, you should make steps or attempt to pay. So you should not refuse to pay until it became a court issue. So they should not blame NDC now for non-payment and then trying to squeeze us that we have diverted. And I'm challenging.
But let me just find out from you.
They should publish where they've seen those vehicles diverted.
Exactly my point I was trying to raise. You are a member of the Education Committee. Do you by any chance know the whereabouts of all these 500 vehicles, especially the Mahindra vehicles?
That is why I'm saying that I am aware that all these vehicles were distributed at Independence Square in Accra to various schools. Even I went to negotiate for one for the secondary school in my constituency. So if he's saying that...
So did you get it? You negotiated,
yes,
did you get it?
I got one for my secondary school.
Mm.
Yes, I got one. So what he's saying that he diverted the vehicle, I am telling you that Ghanaians should ignore that as a wrong information. It never happened. And I don't think the Minister for Education allowed any diversion of pickup vans.
We'll leave it here. We're grateful for your time. That's the spokesperson on education for the minority, Honorable Peter Nochu Kotoi.
And a few of your messages coming through on the stories we've been looking at so far. And as you can imagine, a lot of focus is on the men's gold politicization. It's become a political football between the MPP and the NDC. Kobaji says a new year and a new round of empty and baseless accusations by a government that doesn't have any sense of direction. The man making the allegations doesn't clearly understand what he's saying. And the one from Edward says Ghanaians are very appreciable to have such an opposition party called NDC to help review secrets hidden everywhere by the NPP government. This one says from Farouk. Said this government delay in investigating the men's gold crisis and it's suspicious. #Newsnight. And Jagos from Isawam says, hey, so now they have politicized this men's gold saga, which has turned into politics now between the NDC and the MPP. Hey, Ghana, so are we serious at all? That's Musa Abacha says, Evans, MPP press conference is clear indication that the evidence and facts and figures behind men's gold raised by the Sami Jenfi have given them sleepless night. What we are asking is simple and straightforward. President Akufo-Addo should apply DKM principles to pay men's gold customers. Those are your views on that story. Still to come.
We'll talk about Kofi Boakye raising concerns about political vigilantism, but I would want to find out from you, the guests on PM Express tonight.
PM Express tonight, we'll have Sami Jenfi and Yabwa Benga-Samwa, the two communication directors, 2 political parties, 2 lawyers, 2 press conferences, 1 PM Express at 9 p.m.
And can I call it a showdown? It will be a showdown.
No, well.
Okay, we'll get all the answers. But COP Kofi Boakye is predicting doom in the 2020 election if the fight against political vigilantism is not intensified.
If political integrity is not stopped now, from 2020, there will be an explosion. And it is escalating. It can be something that will not be able to contain.
He has concerns about CSOs in the country.
Police are bold and fearless, but at the same time, what is the guarantee that civil society will support them? I think the civil society itself are in a confused state. They are in a confused state as to what to support or what not to support. And they are also afraid of the politicians.
That's coming up later after business with George.
Hi, you're talking about showdowns. Do you remember Showdown in Little Tokyo? That movie.
Blue Man and Killer.
Yeah, maybe that will be replayed tonight on the PMS. And MFA, there are about 35 mining firms in this country who are operating without the parliamentary approval of those leases, and they are called for those natural resources ministers that approve those leads to actually be prosecuted. We're getting you more details on that one. And port officials engage in diverting transit goods to be sent to the Special Prosecutor's Office for some action. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books, a stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials. And First National Bank, how can we help you as a business?
Hello and welcome to the MTN Weather Report. Joe, we know say January dear if you are a butter month, but with MTN, sea never dry. Now the details of my weather report. 15,000 cities go blow from the intertropical boundaries across the country. Rhyming in it. We can also see a mist of fog patches of 25,000 cities and a heavy monetary downpour of 30,000 cities are a move to more treat the dry season across the country. Now, ladies and gentlemen, everywhere you go, whether it be school fees or Akesisem fees, we there for you. Rent advance advance, salary advance, your sorted advance ningina. Because with MTN, we're there for you. And Joe, keep talking, browsing, texting, and transact more with Momo and win instant prizes each month. Now Kushi will new year in the MTN More For You promo. And dial *120# hash. Now check your points. We're there for you everywhere you go.
Do that dance. Do that dance. We give you nothing but the best. We stay above the rest. More quality, more affordability. Kingdom Books and Stationery. Everybody's going to the one and only shop where customer satisfaction is a guarantee. Kingdom Books and Stationery.
Oh yes, with our 30 days credit facility with no interest charge, free delivery services, and our free consultation on setting up your office, Kingdom Books and Stationery is unmatched in our delivery of quality and affordable office essentials, equipment, and furniture.
Experience world-class customer service in all our branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takoradi.
Call us on 0302-764-101
or visit our website at www.kingdomgh.com.
Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all office essentials and stationery. Terms and conditions apply.
Let us help you bank with the right bank. At First National Bank, we're more than just a bank. We're a digital partner that actually understands your business. Enjoy massive value with our various banking solutions. Get a business check account, a day-to-day transactional account for all businesses from all sectors of the economy. Access our online banking enterprise and bank your way 24/7. Invest with our short or long-term options that enable immediate access to funds. Optimize your cash flow, raise capital, and acquire assets with ease with our lending solutions. Trade with speed, consistency, and innovation with our global payments and forex solutions. With so much value up for grabs, there is no reason not to bank with First National Bank. First National Bank. How can we help you?
You're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Let's move to prosecute past mines and natural resources ministers who appended their signatures to mining leases without the required parliamentary ratification. That's the call coming from Chairman of the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, Dr. Steve Mantea. This was after it emerged that 35 mining firms are operating in the country without the required parliamentary ratification to aid their dealings in the country. Dr. Steve Mantea tells Joy Business steps must be taken now to serve as a deterrent to other public officials.
It's the Minister for Mines and Natural Resources.
These are successive ministers in that office.
That's right. But we need to find the minister whose signature appears under each of the contracts and hold him personally liable. Now, for me, that will not be enough. You see, we need to be able to deter public officers from either deliberately or involuntarily failing to do their work.
Do you think they should be punished?
They should be punished for not bringing the...
What are the implications that in future these mining firms can get away with a lot of things, because in terms of the real approvals, it is not there. Help me out.
For me, when you have gaps in your law, especially in this particular instance where the law has, the contract has not been fully consumed through ratification, then there's a certain high risk that should we have any litigation with these companies, they can get away with it.
Two members of Parliament, Alhassan Suhini and Ernest Henry Nogbe, have all dragged these 35 mining firms, as well as the Attorney General and the Minerals Commission, to the Supreme Court for allegedly violating Ghana's constitution. They are seeking some reliefs, including freezing their activities until the necessary approvals are actually sought. The Commission of Customs at the Ghana Revenue Authority, Isaac Krenzel, has warned that officials of the authority who are caught in conniving with traders to divert goods in transit will be actually sent to the Special Prosecutor's Office. According to him, this is part of mechanisms to put in place to ensure that they get the expected revenue from the port. He spoke in an interview with Joy Business.
We've spoken to our officers that going forward, when we find you that you are involved in the transit trade, the special prosecutor is about to start his work. And definitely when we find out that we and the freight forwarder and of course the transitor will hand over to the special prosecutor. We warned them and we are going to ensure that these things are carried forward.
Isaac Krenzel is Commissioner at Customs at the Ghana Revenue Authority. Tullow Oil is projecting a significant pickup in its oil production for this year. Now, the oil firm is hoping that average production will reach 96,000 barrels a day, that is this year. Now, this is coming after it failed to realize the 78,000 barrels of crude that is average production. This was slightly lower than what it projected for last year. Meanwhile, Tullow is hoping to complete drilling on 7 new wells on the Jubilee and 10 fields this year. Now, this should actually increase its daily production for this year. Now, Vodafone Ghana fears plans to tax the revenue of telcos when it comes to mobile money transactions will affect efforts to improve financial inclusion in the country. Now, this follows moves by government to consider taxing the revenue of mobile money, that is telcos, when it comes to the mobile money business. Chief Executive of Vodafone Ghana, Yolanda Kuba, tells Joy Business most of the telcos are also worried about how this will affect that service and the operations.
If we're very matured in mobile money, I wouldn't be worried. I mean, right now we're about 60 to 65% still unbanked and people outside the formal kind of financial system. So if I'm looking at that, I'm saying, let's get those other people in first, and that's maybe my posture rather than saying, let's actually tax it, because it dissuades someone from actually putting in their money if they know, if I've got physical cash, it's not taxed in my pocket, but if I use mobile money, it's going to be taxed. So people will have that kind of cognitive kind of decision that they have to make, and I'd rather they not make it. I would want people to treat mobile money as if it was the cash in their pocket.
Chief Executive of Vodafone Ghana, Yolanda Kuba. Now, telecoms giant MTN has appointed Ghanaian Lebanese Abareda as its Chief Executive for its Afghanistan operations. Joy Business understands he assumes office this month. Until his appointment, he was the Chief Information Officer at MTN Ghana. He served as the interim Chief Executive of MTN Liberia from September 2017 to March 2018. He holds a Bachelor of Engineering in Computer and Communication Engineering, also an Executive MBA from the CEIBS School. On the stock market, if you hold Access Bank shares today, the value was up by actually 3 pesos, and 45 pesos, it is now worth 3 Ghana cedis, 47 pesos. Standard Chartered Bank was also up by 38 pesos to close at 21 Ghana cedis, 44 pesos. And that's all for business on Newsnight. And we are looking forward to the showdown
at 9 p.m. on Multi TV.
This time it's not on Tokyo, right?
Yeah, 9 p.m. with Evans Mensah. PM Express. It will also be on Facebook Live.
Well, there is another showdown in Often in 2020. In fact, it's such a showdown, it's even an explosion. And that's according to the Director General of the Police Professional Standards Bureau, COP, Nathan Kofi Boakye. And he's predicting that if political vigilantism is not stopped now, there will be an explosion in 2020. He's been delivering what can be described as a bed-all speech on political vigilantism and Ghana's democracy at the opening of the New Year's School and Conference at the University of Ghana in Accra.
So he's cautioning that the situation will escalate during the 2020 election if the fight against political vigilantism is not intensified. Listen.
I'll be bold to tell you now that if political integrity is not stopped now, from 2020, there will be an explosion. And this is not something, we don't need rocket science. Now, as at yesterday, there was the formation of Eastern Bombers. Yes, in papers. And because of the entrepreneurship related to vigilantism, by 2020, you will hear about Ivor snakes, Kwesiani tigers. I must tell you that these vigilantes have no loyalty to any of the parties. I know some of them personally, and they are not up to any good. People ask, what are the police doing? When it comes to political integrity, if it's against another party, the solution is clear. But what we are seeing now is the political integrity within the parties. And here is where the problem lies. When it happens, like we talk about Kumasi, if I am beaten and I tell you that, oh, the beating was romance, we're having romance, what's the police supposed to do? To arrest people for romancing themselves? This vigilantism is something which is clear and present danger to our democracy. And it is escalating. It's not coming down. Because something has not happened, I can assure you, if we don't sit up, 2020 and beyond will be something explosive, and it can be something that will not be able to contain. The government is giving us the necessary equipments now, but even if you get all these equipments and arrest people, and they just give them a slap at the bottom, go and don't sin again, it will continue.
So, COP Kofi Boakye, while delivering that address, also expressed disappointment at the political tax placed on men and women in uniforms by politicians just to protect their own. He says the trend is worrying, saying it can cause division within the rank and file of the service.
I must state here that police are bold and fearless to do some of these things. But at the same time, what is the guarantee that civil society will support them? I think the civil society itself are in a confused state. They are in a confused state as to what to support or what not to support. And they are also afraid of the politicians. And this is the cause. When politicians tell you that we can't trust this policeman, what is the meaning? So we have a situation where policemen have been tagged NDC and MPP. And if this situation continues, it means the police is going to be divided straight the line from top to the bottom. And we have NDC police, MPP police, which will not bode well for this country. And I'm telling you the truth. Therefore, because of political patronage, policemen at various levels look at their back before arresting. It's easy to arrest vigilantes of opposition parties. It's very easy. But it's very difficult to arrest. Sometimes we can do facial arrests, get to placate you, the citizenry. But the point is, because of political patronage, most police commanders at various levels are sometimes afraid to arrest vigilantes who are associated with ruling parties. Some of us have got our fingers burnt a few times and get our fingers continuously burning. Somebody must remember about 3 years ago, there was posters all around Ashanti region, Kofi Boakye must go. This affects some of the things you get when you try to control vigilantes of ruling governments. And nobody would like to be tagged. No policeman would like to be tagged.
Very interesting comments there. This is a very senior top police officer detailing what we've known for a long time, but nobody was willing to publicly say it. He said it all, really. And there's a lot to interrogate there, and we will do so in our subsequent bulletins. We'll be speaking, if we get it, the NCC. I know they've been doing a campaign on this, trying to meet the political parties on this, and they spoke the truth as well. Remember, the NCC did a press conference, and they spoke truth to power directly at the president and this current government and the opposition as well. You want to share your thoughts on what you just heard DCOP Kofi Boakye say there, please feel free to do so. Send us a WhatsApp on a regular WhatsApp line, 0244340437. After sports, we'll go to we'll deal with the military story, because the eviction notices are being served on residents living illegally at areas near the Michelle camp following an explosion this dawn. Well, my colleague just joined me with sports, Hans Mensah Andor. Hello, Hans. What do you have in the headlines tonight?
Now, it's been all about the normalization committee the whole of the weekend. They outdoored a number of ad hoc committees to aid them to execute their mandates. But former Division 1 League Board boss Into Fianco has rejected the appointment to serve on an ad hoc committee announced by the Ghana Football Association Normalization Committee. The astute lawyer was named as a member of the domestic league competition, which has Dr. Kwame Baniako, a former Kotoko official, as a chairman, but he has refused the role and stated that he was not consulted before the announcement. Despite this development, Normalization Committee Chairman Dr. Kofi Amor believes the other members put together will deliver to making the game great again.
their expertise, their personality, their demonstration of patriotism, the different things they have done in their field. If you look at the marketing and sponsorship, Mr. Gedilaya used to be the president of the Ghana Advertisers Association. So all these people, if you know them, you see that we selected the right people for the right committees. Ghana is blessed with a lot of intelligent people. What is missing is for us to decide to have confidence in ourselves and trust each other and get the job done. And I think this is going to demonstrate that reforming Ghana football is doable. It will bring strength into it. It will bring sponsorship. And then our young people who want to play the game will be inspired that this is a good profession for me to be in, instead of always dreaming to leave the shores of.
So that's Dr. Kofi Amwa, chairman of the Normalization Committee of the Ghana Football Association. That's your sports.
And the Ghana Armed Forces has served notice it will take action on residents living illegally at Kakasunanka and surrounding areas close to the Michel camp. This follows the explosion of missiles that destroyed houses, forcing residents to flee their homes.
Well, scores of residents say some military men knocked your doors to tell them to run for their lives. We'll hear from the Ghana Armed Forces shortly, but my colleague Emefa Etiamwa Eli was in the area early, and she describes the weapon she saw left behind in the debris.
The structure, one of the structures that was hit during the explosion, it is a very heavy metal, very, very, very heavy. Very heavy. The tip is very sharp. I can imagine if this thing hits a human being, what would happen. So this is what has been left around. The main metal, the main weapon has been given to the military a few minutes ago. And this one, another resident apparently found it and kept it in his car. So he just gave it to us.
So that's our colleague Emefa Atiamwa Eli describing how heavy the missiles were. Yeah. Okay, so no casualties were recorded, but the residents of Michel Camp are demanding the relocation of the armory there.
Is there anything you are asking to be done about this situation? You may never know what would happen tomorrow.
Well, we've all talked about relocation of highly explosive metals from the armory. Since development has catch up with the armory, you can't talk about relocating the multitudes that have settled here, because it's not only this community. People around the Sebrepo, Saki, Bediakun, and the new Sebrepo, all over. When this armory was put up, there were people settling here, but they were predominantly peasant farmers and cattle rearers. But today, look at the development that have come up. And I believe the best is to relocate the highly explosive metals in the yard to area that we don't have settlement, so that government can take steps to protect the boundary of that armory, than to talk about demolishing settlements here. That will not be an ideal situation. So I believe this has affirmed our call for all these years that government needs to do something about this armory. And I believe maybe it's God's intervention for government to hear the cry of the people who have settled here and are living here.
Well, the military says it cannot grant that request. Instead, the Director of Public Affairs at the Ghana Armed Forces, Colonel Agri Kwashi, tells my colleague Latif Idris those living in the area illegally must begin to relocate.
Oh, for now, it's when they finish with the investigation that we'll be able to know. But I can tell you that the building that housed those items, the building is totally damaged.
You are talking about the state of the armory?
Yeah. No, the armory is intact, but the workshop where those things that got bent in. Fortunately, it didn't affect any of the warehouses that contain the ammunition. They are all intact. And the story would have been different. Yes.
So what are we looking at now? Are we looking at evicting the people or relocating the armory and also the workshop?
No, as for the workshop, it's a facility within the yard that is needed, because you trained people, and that is where you train, where you keep some of those things. And so that facility would definitely have to be rebuilt. But relocating that thing is not a simple thing. But my worry is that it doesn't matter where you send it. People will go closer to the place. Because today, when you go to the Bondasi training camp, it used to be very far in the bush. But people are now living close to the place. That place to be fire live rounds. And so next time you want to fire, you have to go around warning the villagers. But when we started using the facility, it was complete bush. We didn't worry too much about some of these things. Prevention is to make sure that the safety regime within the facility is up to scratch. But people who are living around the place and don't have permit should start advising themselves.
So you have Colonel Agri Kwashi. He speaks for the Ghana Armed Forces.
And it's live on Newsnight. It's, of course, something that's also going to be live on Joy 99.7 FM shortly. And if you're watching Facebook Live, you see MF, practicing her hip-hop moves, because he will be on the mic when we do that very unique, innovative program that we are just about to adore. Many of you out there who will usually stand in front of a mirror to perform to yourself simply because you are often too shy to show off your amazing talent you have. You may want to listen to this. You will certainly not want to miss this year's open mic party, which promises numerous talents expected to perform, including Emefa Apawu, will move from the blindness of the radio studio to the glare of the public.
I pull up on the feature, screaming hallelujah. In a barracuda, smoking Buddha and Fallujah.
This maiden edition in 2017 was described by many as a night of awesome talent on parade. There were amateurs, professionals, and raw talent. And this year's edition promises to be even bigger and better, with raps,
cross my T's and dots my eyes, stress way day my chest I ostracized.
$500,000 for me, never. I fade them at double up next time.
Poetry.
From Lighthouse to Asherford, we roam the streets with a single panty mommy bought. We never cared to make this a thought. All we wanted was the kenke in the pot. We sought nothing but a free will.
Stand-up comedy and music.
If you're good in poetry, if you're good in making your own lyrics, singing, rapping, if you can make people laugh, anything that's got to do with the mic, we're doing it. We're calling it an open mic night. You can register by sending us a WhatsApp or a short video about yourself. And on that night, we give you the opportunity to stand in front of our audience and show us your talent.
Remember, it is open to the public. Your favorite multimedia personalities will also be there because we've got talent.
When Raj just speak at the bones, I'm killing your brain like a voiceless mushroom.
First namonka masem, Fisena minibi, and a kasha bantimo befrem Illuminati, Rena Manya Lucky, on my way to Grammy, Makojoni group where you come in Pushi Bugatti.
Continue.
That's it for Newsnight. My name is Evans Mensah.
I am MF
and the program is on the 25th and it opens at 6:30
at the +233 Jazz Bar and Grill.
Yes.
And now Ashoko and the team are up next with Strong and Sassy. And guess what? We're talking rape and sexual abuse, the survivor story. You want to stay for that. Have a good evening.